To the Haps guys. Another week gone by. Another episode of My Adventures with Superman. Ganny here,
What do you hear?
and we are going to give our Just Watch review. So we just finished episode,
Fresh off the episode.
episode 6 of My Adventures with Superman. If I was a professional, I'd have the title pulled up. My Adventures with Mad Science. Woody, what do you think about this episode?
I so I was getting ready to get more into the main plot, kind of the A plot of this season so far. I wasn't expecting it to go kind of where it went, where the just being kind of like a side story. I guess it was more focused on Jimmy and Lois and Clark's relationship than the actual plot progression. But I mean, I didn't mind it. I thought it was a good episode.
Yeah, speaking of Clark and Lois's and Jimmy's relationship, I'm just gonna say it right now. Jimmy's an actual Chad.
Yes, I do
Yeah,
agree.
Jimmy respects
Jimmy is a
boundaries.
very good friend. Yeah,
Yeah, Jimmy is actually a really good person. Like
yeah,
he
we are
knew.
Team Jimmy here.
Yeah, no, I stand Jimmy Olsen. No, he said like exactly what like Lois should have said, and I like how Lois kind of got her head out of her ass and figured it out. Like it's his secret, it's his life. If
Yeah, by the
he,
by
yeah,
the end of the episode, it seemed like she kind of understood that.
yeah, if he wants to like share, he will share. If he doesn't, he won't. He can have like a secret identity. He can have secrets. And he even identified too. Like Lois is the only person outside of his parents who knew that he's Superman.
Yeah, he had a pretty fair criticism. He's like, you know more about me than anyone does. You already know I'm Superman.
Yeah.
Like that. I felt like that was a really fair criticism on Clark's part.
So I've been seeing like recently a lot of criticism and comparison to Amber from Invincible with
I don't
Lois.
think I don't think Lois is nearly
Yeah,
as
so
that bad.
just off rip, I don't think she's nearly as bad. If Lois knew the whole time and was just mad for no reason, then like yeah, but it's
Yeah,
kind of
I
understandable coming from Lois's point of view.
yeah, I can see where people are drawing the comparisons, but I honestly just think I don't think it's she's as bad. And yeah, like you said, she didn't know the whole time. Like Amber was just sitting on it, and she was just still mad at Mark.
Yeah. The,
You
the
know,
yeah, because the difference between Amber and Mark versus Lois and Clark is that Amber knew he was invincible for at least like 2 or 3 episodes. Uh, she knew he was like getting his ass beat against cyborgs on a college campus and getting like into these missions and having to do that whole like, oh, I ran to call the cops thing as like a cover for him being an actual superhero. And she's still mad about it. Instead, like I would
yeah,
be like, listen, I'm not upset. Like I would understand like being upset that he's holding a secret, but she never like confronts him about it. And then she's like, oh, I expected my high school boyfriend to tell me the most innermost secret that could literally ruin his and everyone he knows lives.
yeah, exactly.
Especially like when Omni Man did his whole thing afterwards. Like I don't know what she was expecting. The thing with Lois is when Lois found out, she confronted him right away and was like, "Hey, Clark, trying to get him to say something," and then confronted Superman and was like, "Hey, I know you're Clark Kent, so just tell me." And it seems that Lois has some trauma when it comes to secret keeping. Apparently, her father and her were very close, and then once
Oh yeah,
once
I
Zero,
100% think they're gonna go into that with
yeah,
because it seems like the General Lane is kind of being set up as one of the major villains of this season. So I definitely think they're gonna get into some kind of backstory, some falling out between Lois and her dad.
yeah, there's definitely like General Lane definitely like probably changed during the events of Zero Day, which is what I'm going to call the day where um, Kal-El and the Kryptonians came, like with
Yeah,
all the technology. Like that's probably what they're referencing. So I'm just gonna be safe and say Zero Day is the day Clark came to Earth. So I think like when Zero Day happened, he got so fucking scared. He was like, "Yeah, nah, I gotta like make sure that I save my daughter from this. I don't want her to know what I'm working on. I don't want her to be scared." Because he probably knows she's an investigative person. She is a journalist, and he's
yeah,
probably like, I don't want my daughter to be investigating these aliens that come in Evangelion technology with
Yeah,
like freeze rays and nukes and shit. And like
yeah.
he
I think
definitely, sorry, what?
sorry, I was just gonna say, if they do circle like back to that or whatever, that is the reason she reacted why she did. I feel like that's good. Like that's good storytelling. Like that would give her an excuse to react the way that she did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, true. She's probably gonna blow up on her dad, and she's gonna be like, "This whole thing, like the truth you were hiding from me, is now my life."
Yeah,
And yeah, like it probably like he probably just flipped on a dime with her, so she hates secrets, because to her, secrets took her father away.
very
And
true. Yeah,
yeah, so I can kind of see why she was initially mad, but she wasn't like unreasonable. She still talked to him, and then after probing him a little bit more, she kind of became more understanding. They still like they still pertained to what was going on. They weren't like needlessly arguing when Jimmy was in danger or when they
yeah,
thought Jimmy was in danger. And then with the reveal that Jimmy always knew, but he was like, I feel like it's a sensitive subject and you tell me when you're ready. I think that kind of got her head out of her ass, and she's like, okay, like it's his secret. He wasn't keeping it to be malicious or mean. He was doing it to protect the people he loves because he's in dangerous situations, doesn't want them to either worry or get into those dangerous situations.
yeah,
So I love and respect Jimmy for that. Jimmy,
yeah.
no,
He's a good
Jimmy,
guy for
yeah,
doing that. Yeah,
Jimmy's a really good friend for doing that. Like to be completely honest, and I really hope there are no more instances where they screw over Jimmy, because now Jimmy's in the loop and he's like officially in the loop, and like he's just an awesome friend. Like I feel like Clark owes him like big time for being like as good of a friend without probing him or trying to like get into his whole like, because even at the beginning of the season too, like when Clark broke the sink, he was like, "Oh, again," and then when like alarm clock broke, he was like, "Why does that always happen to you?" Like he was playing it off.
yeah,
Like
sure.
he was keeping with the illusion, which kind of like strengthens how good of a friend Jimmy is. I really like that.
Yeah, I was a fan of that as well. I kind of like also how they resolved this conflict in like one episode because I feel like in other shows they just like needlessly drag on like they'll be mad at the protagonist for like tons of episodes for like just it seems like just needless amounts of time, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But they
this
kind of just
is
wrapped this up kind of nicely in this episode, which was like definitely focused on their relationship.
I agree with
Oh,
that. I really do like the pacing of this show. I like how there is like an overarching story, but like these beats are handled episodically, so that
yeah.
way like these characters can progress. So it's not this like boring, drawn out arc. Like in a lesser show, Lois would have been mad at Clark until the rest of the season.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, and also you get like sprinkles of the main plot still, even in episodes that isn't really like focused on it, like aren't really focused on it. So it always feels like the story's moving along, which is good. Like you said, the pacing's really good.
Yeah, no, the
That's
pacing is
basically what I'm getting at.
yeah, the pacing is solid. Like it feels like there's a lot in these episodes, and
Yeah,
it's like they're going by relatively quickly. Like I whenever these episodes come out, I usually watch them like 2 or 3 times, and like it never feels like a chore, and they always feel like they're over, but I always feel satisfied.
yeah,
Like they
yeah.
know
They
what they're
they
doing. Yeah,
they're a good chunk of beat. Yeah,
yeah, because I always watch them for the channel, and then I watch them with my dad, so it's always like I watch them over and over again, and I'm never really like bored, like rolling my eyes, and like they're 23 minutes. They're gonna go by super quick, so I'm not gonna. It's not like it's an hour long episode. It's not like I'm rewatching like Game of Thrones or something. It's like this is done relatively quickly, so I can just kind of watch it, and there's always like fun little details. Speaking of details, the quote unquote antagonist of this episode, Zabrin and Monsieur Mallah.
oh yeah.
I
Introduction of Cadmus into
Yes,
this
into
universe.
CADMUS. I really liked what they did with Mr. Mallah and the brain.
I was also a big fan of that. It's new
Like
new take on them, and
yes,
I think it's fitting. Or I like it for this universe. This universe is kind of like happier, more optimistic, and like. And these guys weren't presented as bad. Like not everyone has to be a bad guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I'm not like there are some things I'm not crazy with, like Deathstroke's like well Agent Wilson's like default design with the hair fleck over his eye. I'm not
Yeah.
crazy about, but like I really do like this change on these characters. I like this interpretation. Um, I think they're very cool. I like that Mr. Mallah is very like gentle and nice. Like in most iterations, like in Justice League or Young Justice, like all those cartoons, the Brain is just this intimidating evil villain, and Mr. Mallah just beats the shit out of anybody that tries to like mess with them or stop their plans. But I really like how they're just kind of scientists that just want to go run away to their dimension through the wormhole that they make. And that's cool. I like that that's their thing. They're not like, I need to rob a bank to have the funding to do that. They're just doing it.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
they
they're,
just don't automatically have a grudge against Superman. Like,
yeah.
I'll get you, Superman, in the next episode. Yeah.
Yeah. No, they're just cool and they just want to do their thing. I really like that. Um yeah, I really liked the origin of it. I like the thing about Cadmus though, my one criticism though is it shouldn't have been Cadmus. I know they wanted to drop the little name drop where it's like Cadmus, like, oh, that's from Superman, but Cadmus, I feel like, is a much bigger presence than just a side lab near Metropolis or wherever. That's just like where Zero Day like was near or like whatever. Like Cadmus should be like a season 2 concept, so we can
Yeah.
get like Superboy or Power Girl, because that's kind of what Cadmus's whole thing is. It's genetic science of Superman, at least in like the comics. And like I know they're taking different takes on things, so I'm not just like criticizing them for changing things, but I feel like it should have just been renamed something else. Um, I think it would
I
have been cool if it was named Star Labs,
Oh yeah,
and
Star
then it
Labs would be good.
yeah,
They
and
gotta
then
introduce that eventually.
yeah, maybe I don't know if like the Flash kind of took that from Superman with the
Really?
CW show, because that was
Oh
like a
yeah,
main
true.
thing. So I don't know if they can do that, but I would have liked it if it was known as Star Labs, and then with like at the end of the episode, I like the Parasite's return, which was very cool.
Oh,
Doctor
interesting
Ivo's return.
stuff
So we
teased.
might get
Yeah.
an Amazo robot still, and we're definitely gonna get like another Parasite interaction.
Well,
Um,
we will be getting Cadmus again because I'm assuming Ivo, based on the end of that episode, it looks like Ivo is going to be fixing it up and kind of getting it operational again
oh,
for
so
his
so it
plans.
could still serve the purpose that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, because General Lane and Ivo were in because everyone had left and they went into the building and he's like, "Oh, this is your." He's like, "I can make this work." I forget the exact words. I'm paraphrasing, but something to
Yeah,
the effect of like, "I can work with this." So
yeah,
we will see Cadmus again in the future.
yeah. No, okay, yeah. So yeah, that's kind of because I don't know why in my mind Cadmus was just done. Like they're not gonna revisit it. But like if they like rebuild Cadmus and make it to like what we know it as with either
Yeah,
Superboy or Power Girl and have that be a whole thing, I would very much like that, and that'd be kind of like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna take back what I said. I think that would be a really cool like way, because they introduced it now, so if they
yeah,
go back to it in a later season, it'll be like, oh, we gotta go back to Cadmus. Why? Well, apparently it's operational, and then like they go and they find Superboy or Power Girl or
yeah. They
whatever they
did
want
plant
to do.
that or the seeds for that plot line in this
Yeah.
at the end of this episode, so we will definitely see that.
Speaking of Dr. Ivo wearing a power dampening collar,
Yeah, that was interesting.
which I think he's definitely probably closer to OG Parasite now.
Yeah, so it seems like Ivo will be the parasite of this universe instead of Rudy Jones.
Yeah, which is like, hey, well, creative
Yeah,
liberties.
yeah, I'm cool with that.
I like that, like overall I like that they are making new decisions and trying to tell their own story with these characters.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna like shit on anything for trying anything different. If it's trying to tell like a new story using these characters, like if you're just being different for the sake of being different, meh, or if you're like being different for the sake of pushing a political message that you're not doing at all subtly, I get a little bit annoyed, whether or not I agree with said political message. But
Yeah.
with this show, like, it feels as though these creators genuinely like Superman, genuinely like DC, and they're like, okay, we want to tell our own version of the story. What are things that we can do differently to see how Superman interacts with his world, but differently than what we traditionally know it as? Which is why I really like Monsieur Mallah and the Brain, because I think that's kind of a cool iteration, is to make them like actually good guys, make them like lovers instead of just like crazy business partners, or just like a super smart monkey that doesn't speak but shoots guns and whatever. Like
Yeah.
I like that that's how they're taking it. And then
Yeah,
go
it,
on.
it capture the show captures what Superman is all about too, which is I think why it has a strong foundation,
Oh, it
so
does.
they can take these creative liberties and it will they'll be fine because as long as it's like about like what Superman's about, like being hopeful and optimistic and like helping people out, I think they'll be okay.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it thoroughly so far, so
Yeah, no, I am too. Like, one of my favorite aspects of the show is how wholesome Superman is. They really did nail that. Like, not trying to piss off a fan base or anything, but Zack Snyder's Superman to me is not how Superman is. He's just not. That's
angry
just
comments incoming.
yeah. I'm sorry, but that to me that's just not Superman. That's somebody who has Superman's powers and acts like him a little bit, but like this Superman would never snap Zod's neck. Never. Like this is a good person who's not being fed weird mixed messages about letting children drown. This is
It's kind of
someone.
a return to the traditional
Yeah,
comic Superman,
yeah. It's a
which I
new.
really like.
Yeah, exactly. It's a new twist with but like the traditional values are still there. So I think that's kind of why I like it so much. It's because like it is deviating enough to be its own thing, but like the characters are all true, and if there are changes, they're like necessary for the story and like consistent. They're
Yeah,
done well, which I really like that.
yeah. Like
Um,
the only thing you need, like they have, like it's Superman as he should be, like with the values that he has, and like that is your show. Like the show's a Superman show. You need to just have those like base things, and then you
yeah,
can like tell whatever story you want after that.
yeah. I love how he's not crying and brooding all the time either. Like
Yeah,
that's pretty cool how they're kind of avoiding that whole thing. Like he's not brooding. He's not Batman. Stop trying to make Superman Batman.
yeah.
He's supposed to be this happy guy.
Yeah, he's supposed to be like the opposite emotion wise.
Yeah. No, yeah, I agree with that, and I like what they're doing. Um, last point, next week's episode with
Yep.
Mister Mixiuspitalik.
Mixie Spitalik. Very
Very
excited.
very cool. Yeah. No. His redesign. I'm not gonna say I love it, but
Yeah.
granted, he's Mister Mixiuspitalik. He can look however he wants. He's from the fifth
Like
dimension. I'm
like we were
cool.
saying, creative liberties.
Yeah, Creative Liberty. This is obviously an anime-inspired show, so they're gonna make him look like that. It is what it
Very anime
is.
inspired take, yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is. We were actually so earlier. I don't know if this was recorded, but me and Woody were dissecting the opening title sequence, and we saw like this elf anime man, and
Yeah.
I like pointed at it, and we were like, "Who could this be?"
Yeah, we
And
were having trouble at first because the design is just so different from anything we had ever seen, and we're
yeah,
like, "Is this like a female or male?"
yeah,
We just
we couldn't figure out the gender. We didn't know what this was gonna be. I was like, "Is this what Livewire is gonna turn into? Because blue skin, maybe?" Like,
Yeah, and like he's bigger on the poster than like he is. Like so we didn't know how like it doesn't give away the height or anything, so you don't really know if it's Mixie's Pitalik.
yeah,
So like it was just interesting to like try and figure that out. But now
yeah.
we have confirmation.
Yep, confirmation. It is Mr. Mixiuspitalik. Um, the episodes during the animated series with Gilbert Gottfried were some of my favorites. in
Yeah,
the
those were
original.
great.
Those were
He was
goated.
he was always a cool character to like. You always knew like it was just gonna be like. I hope they keep that spirit of like it's just a goofy episode and like he's just doing crazy stuff.
Yeah,
Like
like
just
his whole
messing with Superman.
yeah, his whole thing is he's just fucking wants to bother Superman. Like he just
Yeah,
wants to annoy him. So like I think that'd be really funny if he's just asking for his help just so he can mess with Superman all day.
yeah. I'm like based on the teaser, it kind of seems like it will keep that spirit, so I am excited for it.
Yeah, and I think it was really funny how like Clark's trying to design a good date to go on with Lois, and then Mr. Mixie Spitalik shows up and he goes, "Nope," and just closes the door. I,
Yeah,
I think that's perfect. That's definitely like in
yeah,
theme. Like that's
yeah.
what
Very
everyone
very
would
fitting.
do. Yeah, very fitting. Um, it like it may or may not be a filler episode next week because it
Yeah,
is like I don't know how that would progress the main plot. Like I think it'd
yeah,
be kind of funny with freaking Deathstroke trying to throw hands with Mister Mixie Spitalik.
yeah. I think it'll be some kind of similar to this week's, and like we'll get maybe at the beginning and the end or something. They'll sprinkle some main stuff, and then like once we get to like the episodes, because what is it's just episode 7 next week.
Yeah, 7 next week, so we only have 4 more
So
episodes. We have 7, 8, 9, and 10.
so after next episode, we get what 0 day 1 and
That's
2,
right.
right?
Yeah, 0 day 1 and 2, and
Oh,
then we
okay,
get
so
yeah. Okay, yeah, we
and then
will.
10 will so it's 8, 9, and 10 will probably be the juicy
Yeah,
main stuff.
I kind of like that in terms of pacing though, because they kind of
Yeah,
like got to the point, got to the point, got to the point, establishing relationships. They're gonna give us a goofy little adventure, and then it's gonna be like the serious episodes. Like
yeah,
it's giving us
like
kind of a
balls
little
to the
bit.
wall, like
Yeah,
at the end. Yeah.
it's giving us a little bit of like light levity, some like okay, and then it's like okay, are you ready to be sad? And then they're just gonna throw out like 0 day part 1 and 2, and then the last episode of the season, where we're probably gonna get a little bit more into like Kal-El and who Jor-El is, and
Yeah, I'm hoping to see like Jor-El. I'm sure we will. Like obviously 0 day, but like we just haven't seen anything from that side of him like since what episode 1, 2.
yeah,
Like it's been a while.
yeah. I mean, like this is all obviously what it's gonna be about. It's gonna be about like his Kryptonian heritage and what happened when he came to Earth.
Yeah,
There were obviously like, I don't know if like Zod is the main reason he came or if Brainiac is, but like I'm leaning towards Zod because I feel like Zod probably tried to, or maybe actually no, I'm gonna lean toward Brainiac because I think Brainiac might have been like I'm trying to kill all Kryptonians, and then like
that
sent those
yeah
robots after Kal-El to kill him, and like they
that
were
makes sense. Yeah,
neutralized by Earth or something like that. Like that
because
would probably be
yeah robots is more up Brainiac's lane.
yeah.
So yeah, maybe and then maybe they like set him up as like the main villain for season 2 or something.
Yeah, or like
Because
do
I
whatever.
don't
Yeah,
know. At least I don't think they would be able to like resolve that, or I don't think it would feel satisfying if they resolved that in like 3 episodes, like a Brainiac thing.
yeah,
Unless they, I don't know, they could do it well and totally prove me wrong. But
yeah. No, I like where this is going. I'm like I am now locked in. When I go to work now, I count the days till Thursday
yeah,
because I want
I'm
to.
same boat. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm.
yep. No, it didn't get me until was it last episode or episode 4? Like I remember just watching the first ones, and I even said to in one of our reviews, it got me to where I'm like, yeah, I'll watch it because it's new Superman content, but not because I'm
Yeah, yeah,
interested. And now I'm like, okay, like it's time to go. This is how I get into every anime too. I usually am very not invested for the first couple episodes, but I'm like, it's whatever. And then I get to a point where I'm like, okay, like step on the gas, like let's get here.
yeah. Like the
So
first major plot point. Yeah, I
yeah,
think for me it was like episode 5, like where I was like really, really locked in, like the fight with Deathstroke. Like
yeah,
it was just very cool.
yeah.
Like
I thought that was cool. I like how they're tricking him out
that's
with
all.
like
That's it. Yeah.
Kryptonian stuff, and he can actually hurt Superman. That's pretty cool. I do like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, no, I'm excited to where this goes. I can't wait to see Mr. Mixie next week. Um, I just want to know what shenanigans they get up to. I wonder if like he still has the claws, or if he says his name backwards, he gets sent back to the fifth dimension or something like that.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, I
Yeah,
hope
that
they
that'd be cool.
do
I
something
yeah.
similar to that.
Yeah, I want to see their take on this. I'm excited to see like where that will go. And then like after that, like it's gonna be just balls to the wall. 0 Day Part 1 and 2 and the finale. I'm very excited. Hopefully, like season 2 after that will come soon. But I think I'm getting a little ahead of myself. We gotta take
Yeah,
next week in stride. But yeah, if you don't have any
absolutely.
more
Though
thoughts about the episode, I think we're pretty wrapped up here.
I think we've covered everything that I can remember, all the major stuff and
Yeah,
the preview. But
yeah,
yeah, it was a good episode overall. We're in store for some what looks to be like fun times next week. Before everything gets crazy.
yeah. No,
And
I'm
yeah,
excited to
I'm
see where it
excited.
goes. Yeah, no, I'm excited to see where it goes. If you like our commentary, if you like hearing our opinions about My Adventures with Superman, make sure to give us a sub down below and ring that notification bell so you can boost up in the algorithm. We really like DC Comics and we want to keep giving you guys some more DC content. So please just kind of boost us so we can help bring that to you.
Absolutely.
Again, I'm Ganny,
And I'm Woody.
and you guys have a great rest of your night. We'll see you next week with another episode of My Adventures with Superman.
See you guys later.
Peace.